talking about the 5 top supplements for Lyme disease. I'm Dr. Jason West. Just go through this really fast. If there was things that I wish I could share with people that have Lyme disease, it's to get your immune system working. You want to just stimulate, and you want to work on your drainage pathways, because if your sewer system doesn't work, you don't work. And some of the glands that are really neglected in Lyme disease is your spleen, which is your blood reservoir. It's so important in Oriental medicine and so neglected in traditional allopathic medicine. And your thymus gland, which is right here. So many times the thymus is confused with the thyroid. The thymus is really important for cell-mediated or internal cell immunity. And there's some misinformation that the thymus gland, well, it doesn't work when you get older and stuff like that. That's nonsense. What it really means is, hey, we don't really have a prescription for the thymus, so we're going to kind of ignore it. Let's jump right in and talk about Lyme disease, the great imitator, and some supplements. And my very favorite one, you guys, is right here. It's hard to see. It's called Immune Power. And why this is so great in it, it has echinacea, it has astragalus in it, it has andrographics, and it also has some mushrooms. Now, I see a lot of benefit in mushrooms and Lyme disease. We have on here cordyceps mushrooms, shiitake, maitake, and reishi mushrooms. So you get this amazing herbal push, and I love this. Immune Power is one of my favorite ones. By the way, you can see everything in the link, but I also just wanted to deliver value and show people, look, there's some things that if you were aware of these, it would really, really help you on your Lyme journey. Now, that doesn't substitute the rules of health, which is sleep, getting adequate water, eating healthy and alive foods, movement, and the most important of all for Lyme disease, and that's this, is how we talk to ourselves. We have a whiner, we have a winner in our life, and the winner is saying, hey, you're alive, you're doing these things, you're a warrior, you're worthy of giving and receiving love. The whiner over here is saying, how come everybody else is feeling better? How come me? Why did I get this? Why can't I get better? This whiner has a tendency to win for all of us, but especially in chronic disease. So let's jump right into some supplements that'll help. And one of my favorite things to tell people is we want to stimulate the immune system to help, to stimulate, to get to work, to function, and Immune Power, it's one of my very, very favorite ones. So the immune system is getting hammered by Lyme disease. Remember, there's 5 phases. This is something they don't really talk about. There's the spirochete phase, which is what happens when the bacteria gets in your system. And then in my clinical opinion, I love the book by Brian Rosner, which talks about the phases, which there's also intracellular phase, a budding phase, a spore phase, and a biofilm phase. And that's why it's so important to work on your immune system. And many times I'll have patients that'll come in that say, hey, I tried an antibiotic and this is what happened, or we had to cycle it, or we have to pump, or these other things, because it's not a bug problem. Chronic Lyme disease is a terrain or an environmental problem. If we fix the environment, we fix the terrain, now we have a chance to win. So how it works, Immune Power is like flipping a switch. It has all those, the mushroom components, the herbal components, the andrographis, the astragalus, the echinacea. I do like it. It has a little bit of a green tea extract in it. It's just fantastic for your immune system. Now, something that I don't have in the outline, but I was going through my shelves and saying, what else would I do for, it's called this. It's called Lyme nosode. And I like this, it helps your body to recognize the different components and different antigens for Lyme disease in my experience. Now, it's a homeopathic, it's a drop. All of the other ones we're talking about are orthomolecular medicine. So you have these ground troops that are coming in. That's the Immune Power. That's the vitamin C we're going to talk about. That's the spleen, the thymus extracts that we're going through. But the energy component is kind of like, I think homeopathy is like internal acupuncture, in my opinion. So we use Immune Power. I use Lyme nosode. There's a Native American supplement from Barlow Herbs called LDM 100. Now, I have the link right below me, And the reason why I told you where it is, and it's so important to win against Lyme disease. And whether you use me or a doctor like me, that we have a program across the street or across the country to help people, but you got to know about LDM. So what does LDM? It harnesses the power of Native American herbal medicine that's been used for centuries to fight infection. And here's what I like about this. The LDM is fantastic for, number one, fighting bacteria, combating viruses, reducing inflammation. This stuff is amazing. And it literally supports the immune pathways. I've also had some people combine it with antibiotics to produce an extra powerful punch. But my whole focus is not having to use anti-life therapy or antibiotic therapy unless there is no other resort. I have most of my people that come into the office have already tried that and it just stopped working, or it gave them unwanted side effects for the antibiotic approach. So my approach is these are the 5 natural things that I've seen help the most. The immune power, this LDM stuff. And look, if I had to pick one medicine and I could only take one thing with me into a future, if I was to migrate to, a different planet as a settler pioneer, and they said, you can take one thing, hey, this is what I'm taking. The other things that are really important is the spleen. Now, the spleen is your immune system's warehouse. It filters blood and pathogens. It recycles iron. Like literally, red blood cells come out of the bone marrow, go into circulation. They carry oxygen and nutrients to the body, and then they take waste products to the liver and kidneys. So the red blood cells drop off the groceries and take out the trash. And when we aren't using all the blood, we kind of warehouse or we store up red blood cells in our spleen. The spleen can get overworked and less efficient, and so we use a specific cellular extract of spleen. They call it protomorphogen therapy. And this supplement provides the cellular material to support the spleen and the regeneration. This is one of the most important and neglected organs that hardly anybody in traditional medicine or a lot of Lyme literate doctors aren't paying attention to the spleen. And then the next one, it's literally the same thing. Like the thymus gland is where your body goes to put white blood cells to teach them how to be more effective warriors. So in the thymus, it helps to identify and fight infections. The thymus does have a tendency to shrink as we age. And here's what happened. It's kind of like your muscles. You're never going to have muscles in your 40s and 50s that you had in your 20s because of this aging pathway. The thymus wears out, and particularly in chronic Lyme patients of people that are a little bit older, this is just a wonderful therapy because what it does is it helps to educate the specialized T cells, which get rid of Lyme bacteria, and this coordinates a more balanced immune response. This is fantastic for chronic Lyme, but also Epstein-Barr, herpes simplex 1, the cold sore virus, cytomegalovirus, parvovirus, any chronic infection. If you treat the thymus and the spleen, we are on a nice pathway to recovery. Then, this is actually 3 products, but I want to talk to you what it does. This is called the Plexus Triplex, and I love this because if your stomach's healthy, you're healthy, and so many problems with chronic Lyme disease is it's attacking the stomach. And so really there's a way to remove harmful bacteria and biofilms in the stomach. That's what I feel. This is called the BioCleanse. And then the ProBio 5, what it does is it replaces the beneficial bacteria and controls candida overgrowth, particularly if you've had an antibiotic trial or antibiotic treatment for chronic Lyme. You've got to get in and take away the landing spots for the bad bacteria. That's what this Plexit does. And then there's this wonderful drink that helps to repair the intestinal and reduce inflammation. So it's a 3-prong approach. So literally, here's kind of the summary. We have an immune system stimulator and immune power. We have a homeopathic in Lyme Noso that helps the energy and recognize the antigens or the signaling things that help your immune system to get rid of the bacteria. Then we treat the spleen, we treat the thymus, and now we're cleaning the gut. when we do these, I just see wonderful outcomes for people. And here's really what I'm doing here. I'm on a mission to help people beat Lyme disease. It's not just me saying it. Like if you'll check out the channel or Facebook or YouTube, I have thousands of patients and testimonials of people that were out of hope and out of time and out of options. And guess what? We're winning. And this is one of the things I help people to do across the country. We have a virtual program. We have an in-office program. And I really want to make a difference in this disease. Now, if you're watching the video, there's a couple different frequently asked questions that show up. Like one of them is, where do I get everything? Well, it's in the link, but if you go to personalizednx.com top 5, I've got a program of this is what I would start with. And then people say, well, geez, how come other doctors don't recommend this? Well, what conventional medicine has a tendency to do is to focus on symptoms and thinking the disease is the bug. Yes, the bacteria is causing the disease, but it's because the terrain and the environment aren't as healthy as it should be. And so this is something that literally comes out of the research and development we've been doing inside of the West Clinic that we've been doing for the last 110 years. Now, another question people say, look, I don't want to take a lot of supplements. Can I just take one? Well, you can. We can do a custom manufacture for just basically one bottle. It's usually several pills out of that bottle. But in my clinical experience, the best is a multiple pronged approach. You got to stimulate the immune system. You got to help with the energy pathways. You get the spleen and the thymus to process the red blood cells. And the thymus educates these T cells so that it knows which cells are infected by the bacteria and how it can clean out. And then you are what you eat, you are what you absorb. There's always a gut protocol. Then the other question that people ask is, well, how long is it before I see results? And what I would say to that is everybody's a little bit different. In the research, in the how long do I see results? I like to tell people a good rule of thumb is to start to see improvement within the 30 days. It's not always that fast, but my goal is, hey, if we put the building blocks in, if we remove barriers to healing, if we help people with the 5 rules of health, was to get on a sleep schedule, get a sleeping sanctuary, get adequate water, that's at least 80 to 120 ounces. I just did another video that shows that if you're dehydrated by 2%, it can affect your cognition by 30%. So let me translate. I try to get 100 ounces of water every day. If I get 98, I'm only off 2%. It has a 30% chance of affecting my memory recall, my brain function, my mental stamina, the ability to recall and learn things. It's just such a small amount of what has the biggest difference ever. So rules of health: sleep, enough water, healthy and alive, clean foods, movement. Another video that we did is called In Praise of Walking. It's actually a book that I read that said, this is one of the most important exercises to do. If I can just get chronic Lyme people to get outside and do walking, my goal is to get them to a mile and then ideally 2 miles of walking every day. When you exercise those skeletal muscles, what happens is it pumps literally the lymphatic system, and the lymph system is the fluid in your body that's not in your bloodstream. It's more than your blood. And that's such an important part of the cleanup process in here. So the synergistic approach to healing is literally this. We want to help you get a program or a system in place, a weed, seed, and feed. We want to clean out the bad guys in your body. We want to help repopulate with good probiotics and building blocks and amino acids and essential fatty acids. So, and then we want to feed that process, which is good mojo, good water, good thoughts, good emotions. All right, first step to recovery. If you're looking for help, we have a wonderful resource. It's a free guide. It's at www.lymefighter.com. I have a supplement protocol over there. We have a brain protocol system, and we have a free guide that helps you. We want to help you reclaim your life and fight against Lyme disease. All right, you guys, if that is value to you, please like and subscribe and share this with someone that either has Lyme or their inner circle. It could be a spouse, a partner, a child, a parent that has Lyme disease. I say this all the time in the office. You're not your diagnosis. We have to treat people, not like patients. This is Dr. Jason West, and I'll see you on the next video.